Got Township Stormwater Authority meeting to order. Come to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call. Dave.
Present.
Bob.
Present.
Jerry.
Present.
Myself present.
Did you take the tape recorder?
Did I take it?
Did I give it to you?
Oh, you have to wait for her to come
Well,
back.
Karen's got to go get the tape recorder.
I took it out to the shower.
Yeah, this one's here. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to try to eliminate.
Okay. I'm picking up.
Demolition permit.
Yeah. I checked. They got one up there.
There'll be some of the board and stuff that we'll need to get.
Okay. John, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Make sure I would open up.
Yeah.
Here's the balance on our account. That's the bills we paid for the year.
How much is that for you?
That's because of the bond issue and the river basin. It's on your roll.
Well,
622. And that's why I'm
That's a
saying,
lot of checks.
that's why I'm saying that account. So
Oh, yeah.
people think, hey, you should lower the rate, you know? But they don't realize that big bill is coming,
Thank
you
you.
know?
Sorry about that. That's for you. Sorry.
That's what we save for, right?
Okay, I don't think we have to go back over roll call and stuff for tape recorder. Public input on agenda items. Anybody got anything, Rose?
Yes, first of all, on the minutes, you announced that there was an executive session prior to the meeting last time. What was the purpose?
Possible litigation. It's the same thing tonight. We had an executive session before the meeting as to litigation.
On the bills, DGK, $608. What was that for?
Fiduciary bond payment.
For who?
Mr. Strongham and office staff.
Who was the second person?
The office staff.
Karen Cicchini, Steamtown Blueprint litigation. What's the details on that?
Copies.
That was for just copies?
Yes.
DGK insurance, $750.
Another fiduciary bond for the treasurer.
The Rebecca Webb, is there a detailed invoice for that $4,000?
Yes, there is.
And the USIC, what was that? For $426.
The markup company.
The who?
Markout.
Okay, number 8, resolution. Is that going to be adopted tonight, or do you have
No,
details?
it won't. We may discuss a little bit tonight. It won't be adopted.
Okay. Now, you're going to make a motion to accept the 2017 audit report. Have you gone through it and seen the recommendations that they put in there?
Have I gone through it?
Yeah.
I've looked at it. I haven't gone everything line by line.
Okay, because you're going to adopt it, and yet for the last 3 years, they've noted that there's no policy for the custodial credit risk with your banks. If there's a bank failure, and you usually have over $1.5 million, and you're only insured for $250,000.
My understanding is that's not true. Since we're a municipality, that doesn't apply to us.
Well, why would the auditors put that in 3 straight years?
I don't know.
And where did you get your information from?
The bank?
Do you have that in writing?
No.
So then you don't know for sure. There's no written documentation. Is anybody going to follow up and find out about that? Because what if there is a bank failure? There's a risk.
We'll find out on the road.
Also, for 3 straight years, they put in there on findings that the vendor for the grinder pump service, the sewer authority purchases parts. Parts are delivered directly to residential home of the individual who owns the business. And you're not performing an inventory check of the inventory and not monitoring the usage of the inventory. And they've recommended an established written procedure for tracking and monitoring the inventory. Is there going to be a follow-up on that?
There may be.
Well, that's a lot of parts. That's a lot of money, public money.
And they're used to repair the grinder pumps.
But the auditors said there's no checks and balances.
They may have. They may have.
Well, it's written in there. It's on page.
Isn't there a yearly inventory?
Yes, it's hard to inventory the parts that he has as far as when you take them out of a pump, you throw them away. They're garbage. So you replace them with a new one. So we're not going to keep a barrel full of old parts.
I know that, yeah.
The rest is non-agenda.
Anything else?
No, not till the end.
Okay, the motion is in order to adopt the minutes of the last regular meeting of July.
I'll make the motion to adopt the minutes as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then abstain due to the fact that I was not present for the meeting.
Next be our treasurer's report. Joe.
Treasurer's report for Tuesday, August 14, 2018 is as follows. The USDA account that we have at the Honesdale Bank for the electronic loan payments, we have a balance forward from last month of $170.61. The only activity on that account was a 6-cent interest deposit. So the new balance is $170.67. The non-EDU account that is also at the Honesdale Bank, the balance forwarded from last month was $70,344.72. That was a deposit of $50 and an interest added to the account of $27.18. So the new balance at the end of July is $70,421.90. And the EDU account that we have at the Honesdale Bank, the balance forwarded from last month was $853,071.18. The EDU deposits for the month totaled $146,594.67, and the interest credit to the account totaled $357.64, and the account was debited 39 times for a total of $20,486.34. So the balance at the end of July is $997,537.15, with outstanding checks totaling $1,061.57. And the savings capital improvement account that we have at the Honesdale Bank, the balance forwarded from last month was $835,706.21, and the interest credited to the account for the month of July was $322.83. There were no debits to the account, so the balance at the end of July is $836,029.04. And the eminent domain account that we have also at the Honesdale Bank, the balance forwarded from last month was $4,287.85, and the only activity was the interest deposit, which totaled $1.65. So the new balance at the end of July was $4,289.50. And the July interest on all accounts totaled $709.32. And the interest on all accounts for the year from January through the end of July is $4,538.56. And the Portnoy report, Portnoy, the principal that Portnoy collected for us was $1,781.83, and the interest that they collected totaled $673.08. So the total principal and interest for the month of July was $2,454.91, and the total that Portnoy collected from January through the end of July is $30,346.52. And the total that Portnoy has collected since they were hired is $302,303.26. That's it.
Okay, motion is in order to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next is the committee report. Mike isn't here tonight. He has personal business he had to attend to. And he had some minor glitches here with high water levels in the pump stations. If he's able to get them pumped down, I believe they're going to change one of the pumps in pump station 8, or at least pull it and check it, because number 2 pump, when it was its turn to pump, it didn't want to keep up. Those pump cycle every time the station comes on, it's a different pump that works. 1 pumps down fine, 2 is a little lagging a little bit behind. Sometimes we have manually get one down once the rain and everything subsided. We're getting some infiltration, and I believe we have some pumps and stuff that we haven't located as of yet that's getting into the system and giving us this high water level. So we'll just keep policing that matter, and hopefully we'll get that resolved. And if we do have people and some pumps in it, they'll be taken care of, and I don't know if we can deal with them in any financial matters, but anyhow, we'll be looking into it and see if we can find somebody who is discharging. It's a closed system. I understand there is some hydraulic pressure that works against the inlet side of the grinder pumps, but it seems like we're getting an awful lot of water in heavy rains. So that's something that has to be looked at. Elmer and I repaired 2 manholes that had the castings knocked loose over the winter. We sealed them back up, so they should be fine. We should get any infiltration through them. Elmer's been cutting the grass and keeping the pump stations looking good. And that's about all I gonna change the meters at our pump stations. Actually, I think they're changing them on everybody's houses and everything. They're coming up with different type of reading. We've got letters from my house that they're gonna change the meter, and it's supposed to make everything so much better. I don't know if it does or it doesn't, but they have to send us a couple letters, and then we can make an appointment as to what day they're gonna pull a meter, because when they pull a meter at a pump station, Mike has to be there to reset everything. It doesn't just automatically reset itself. He has to be there, so we have to know when this is gonna happen. And until we get a confirmed time and date to take care of that, we don't know exactly when it's gonna happen, but we just wanted to put it out there for information purposes. So you see people, at our pump stations, that's what they're doing, they're changing out the meters. So, they claim it's gonna be more efficient. I don't know, more efficient for them or for us, I have no idea, but that's what they wanna do. Number 8, the inline pumps. Gary isn't here right now, but he's gonna try and make it. So we're gonna just go by that. He's gonna give us a report on the inline pumps and what he's come up with, what has to be done here. As time frame as to when it's gonna go out for bid and stuff, he might have some of that information with you tonight. I don't know for sure. So we'll take time and wait for Gary to come and talk about that. Resolution on the structure demolition for our house in the township. People will come in here and they'll say they're gonna tear a house down, they'll take out a demolition permit. The demolition permit is good for 3 years. Normally when they take it out, they stop paying their sewer bill because they have a demolition permit. I would like to see a resolution by this board passed that says they continue to pay their sewer bill until the building is on the ground. And that'll give them an incentive to take the building down or leave the building up. If they're gonna tear it down to rebuild, it might be to their benefit to keep paying their bill, because if they tear it down and they're down for a period of time, then they have to go through the whole process. They have to go and buy a grinder pump. They have to go and pay the LRBSA. They have to do a lot of things that may cost them a lot more money than it is to pay their bills, if indeed they're sincere about tearing it down and rebuilding it. If they're just going to tear it down, then it doesn't make any difference. But I would still like to see a time frame set by this board as to when they don't have to pay, or do they keep paying until the day that the building is on the ground and it no longer exists. I think it's fair to other ratepayers, because we have people who's taken out building permits for demolition, and I know a house is standing a couple of years, and it's still standing, and they have done nothing to it. We pulled the pump and stuff because our understanding it was tearing it down, and it's not torn down. So it's not fair to the ratepayers to have that building set there, and the next month they can say, oh, we want a grinder pump back, and we're gonna put that house back in service. So that's, we just have to come up with some more wording between the board members, and we'll get the information to Dave as to what we want to put into that resolution, and then we'll vote on it. I don't think we're ready tonight, but hopefully by the end of the year we'll have this, or the next couple of months we'll have that resolution taken care of. There's been some questions about motion number 10. Prepare the audit, to accept the audit. Rose has brought up some points. I don't know if that would preclude us from adopting their audit. We could take those points that they made into consideration, but would that preclude us from adopting it, Dave?
No.
I mean, that's stuff for us to take into consideration and get something done before our next audit and see what happens there. So with that said, I would make a motion to accept the 2017 audit prepared by Murphy, Doherty and Company. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Is everybody in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
I'm going to abstain just due to the fact that I haven't seen it yet, and that is my fault.
Okay, so Dave abstains.
What was your reason, Dave?
I have not seen it yet, and I don't want to, say yes or no on something I
Well, you
haven't.
should read it.
It's my fault I have not received it yet, and I will get it.
Okay, number 11, a motion to run a condensed balance sheet in the newspaper because of the audit. Is there a motion on that?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Payroll. We have a couple of people that work for the township, occasionally myself, Elmer, Karen, Lisa, and we pay them once a month, and I think that's unfair. I think that we should be able to make a motion to pay the payroll for the month ahead, going ahead, so that Jerry can write checks and I can sign them and have these people paid. I don't think they should have to wait a month to get their paycheck. Does anybody have any feelings on it?
So, you want, I have a question, you want to have,
Just like the township does, say, make a motion to pay next month's bill, payroll.
right,
And basically, it shows up now on the bill list. Anybody-
right, we're not paying a month in advance, we're paying,
No,
right.
it's just so that you're approving next month's
Right,
bills. You're not paying them a month in advance, you're paying
right.
the payroll for the next month. And then next month you'll do it again. Because like I say, I don't think it's fair that if you work this week, you gotta wait for 30 days to get paid.
I agree with you, I mean, if it's not, I'll pay them every week.
I'll make that in form of a motion. If anybody wants to see the time slips, they're welcome to come down and look at the time slips.
You're not going to list it on the bill list?
Pardon? No, it won't be listed on the bill list, the same as it's not listed on the bill list in the township. It's, a motion is made to pay the payroll. They pay the payroll every week. And if you want to see the time slips, you go to the office, you can see the time slips. They give you the time slips or a copy of them, whatever you want. So I think it's just a way of expediting your meeting.
So you're not going to have the available to the public, the amount paid? Like in other words, you got
If you check
paid.
my time slip, you'll know exactly what I got paid.
Well, it's not broken down on the time slip. It's only list the hours. I looked at time slips the other day.
Yeah, I realize that.
Right, so like you got paid $176.48.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be available? What you get paid or anybody else?
The time slip bill, it's going to be no different than what it is in the township. And I'm sure that you go to the township and get your...
Yeah, but
payroll.
it's still listed as, you can still get the information as to what their earnings
I'm sure
are.
you can get the information from us, other than what I take in deductions or stuff like that.
I didn't ask, that wasn't my question
Yeah,
about
you
deductions.
can look at it. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with that. I'll tell you every month what I make to the penny. I don't care.
Okay, well then good, then I can ask every month.
Yeah,
then.
I don't care, Ruth. You can
Okay.
ask it every month.
Okay, good.
Just for your information now, I'm gonna get, let me just see here, my bill list for this month. I can tell you how much I made this month. Okay.
It's on you,
Okay,
176.48.
so this month you'll see it, 176.
So then next month I'll just come in and I'll
Then
say,
you can
Stanley,
ask
what
me,
do
and
you?
if I can remember it, I'll give it to you. If
Okay.
not, you'll have to go to Karen and get it.
Well, most of you realize how much your check is, don't you?
Very low.
Yeah, now, well, but we will get
I'm here anyways.
We will get $40 tonight. We will get 40, but that doesn't show on an A. That's what those do. On the bill list.
That shows on the master
Yeah.
payroll slip that I sent to our accountant.
Okay, just had a question, is there a reason why we don't do payroll every week? Is it just for convenience of
Because I think Jeff used to do it.
It's just the way it's been done.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
I just wondered.
Yeah, that's, we just started that way because we actually never had anybody basically working. And then we went out, we just put it on the bill list because there's a place to put it.
If I could add to that, it's, Becky does that, but she takes care of the 941s, she takes care of.
Could you speak up because we can't hear you?
And then she also does the quarterly returns. So she has all the information.
So it's easier.
It streamlined the process for us, actually.
Okay, was there a motion made?
I have a motion to do
Monthly payroll.
a monthly payroll approval for this, the next month.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm gonna vote no.
Okay.
I like how paper we use, so you can see what else.
What was that? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said I like the way it is, so everybody can see it without asking.
Exactly, I mean, if you're getting public money,
Yeah.
I don't understand why all of a sudden, you're getting public money, it just seems that all of a
It's
sudden.
Just
it's-
the way we've tried to streamline things, that's all. The next will be a motion to pay the bills. Is there a motion to pay the bills for this month?
I'll make that motion to pay the bills.
Is there a
The
second?
August bill list.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, the next is public comment. Anybody got anything they want to bring up other than what's been discussed so far?
Yeah, could you give me the status on the Dennis hearing?
I can, maybe Dave can.
I mean, it's still in discovery, there's no hearing scheduled on it.
Okay, and how about tomorrow?
Tomorrow, we're about to file our equity action, that we have probably this week or next week. We'll
How about the Brenzo?
file. Rental's the same thing, it's in discovery, but we're preparing a motion for summary judgment.
That's an
It
equity-
hasn't been filed yet, but
Okay, I got this list of people that still haven't hooked up, and it's, I really, it's not clear. Now, Petch was given a 30-day notice, is he hooked up?
Right, Patch?
Yeah,
Not to my knowledge.
no. What about Vincent Allen on Lakeland Drive?
No.
No. Brown on Lakeland Drive?
Is that one? Yeah. Not to my knowledge.
Brown on Country Club Road?
No, no, that country club.
Okay, Cherkowski is crossed out, so
That's been hooked up.
that's okay. All right, Dennis is, I just asked on that. What about Drake on Lakeland Drive?
Which one?
Drake?
Drake, that's the one over
That's the house that's,
by Manly.
oh, yeah, down on the right hand side, that's dilapidated.
That's in
Yeah,
That has been hooked up. That's one called Carlisle.
yes, on the right hand
Yeah,
side.
that one, I don't know.
So what, it's not,
The house is vacant, Rose, and I believe it's, what would you say, was it in one
the
character?
repository,
In the repository?
basically.
well, protects it.
Right.
what about Caruso on Montdale Road?
No. I believe they're going to apply for an exemption, but I'm not positive.
There are exemptions?
No, it's an exception.
An exception,
What's an exception?
if they disconnect, take all the plumbing out of it, power's disconnected, there's no water there, they can ask for an exception to the hookup.
Koch on Boulevard, Justice Boulevard?
No, he's not.
Wolf on Chapman Lake Road?
No, he's not.
Teddick on Layton Road?
Who was that?
Teddick, Layton Road, 1375.
No.
Draper, looks like Lakeland Drive.
That's under contract.
It's under contract, but it hasn't been hooked up yet.
How long has it been under contract?
I couldn't tell you that.
Do you have a copy of that information that it's, like, that they gave you, that they're under contract?
No, it was a verbal confirmation.
It's a Balaji, B-A-L-A-J-I, if I can understand this writing.
That's Jerry's.
There's several Bellagio, I don't know which one that is. There's-
Well, I don't know, it doesn't have an address, it just has a map number.
It's not hooked up anymore. There's been no run deep. That was hooked up or not.
So are these all gonna be scheduled in for equity actions, or what's the status gonna be on
Eventually
them?
they will be. The sewer authority is gonna handle them. So it may not go as, well, it hasn't gone that fast. It's what, 5.5 years now with the township doing it, so I think we'll have them before the 5.5 years is up. I think we'll be a little bit faster than that. Township has done the best they could do with the resources they had, and right now we're taking them over, and we'll file the equity action, whatever it takes to have them over.
Jerry, going back to this,
One other one there is Oakley's.
but it's crossed off on here.
That's on Lakeland Drive, that one there. We've changed, pardon? Yes,
What's that?
Oakley's.
Okay, well, it looked like it was crossed off, so,
I don't know what the address is there. It's right over by the intersection of 632 and 247.
and what's their status? They're just not hooked up yet?
They're not hooked up.
Is that where you changed the
We
the
changed
pipe?
some laterals around on it. He had two options to hook to either one of the laterals that was there. And he's still saying that the lateral isn't on the property where the house is. And we gave him a choice to either hook to one of those laterals, which is in the middle of his driveway, or he would have to hook from 247 up over the ledges and into his property. So if it was me, I'd rather go the easy way and dig a ditch up my driveway, as to come up over the ledges and hook up. So that's going to be his choice, which way he wants to go, but he's going to be notified that he has to hook up.
So did we place a new lateral in there?
We placed it all out with it, yes.
Jerry, going back to the issue that the auditors brought up about this insured monies, is there any way that you could get that information from the bank in writing?
We're going to try.
Well, it should be. I mean, that's a big risk.
As I said, we're going to try.
The bank gives us securities that they hold to protect our money. They give us that regularly.
Right, but according to the auditors, it's only insured to $250,000, and you usually have $1.5 million.
Well, I think what Jerry's saying is that, yes, under FDIC, it's only $250,000. But the bank pledges securities that the bank owns to secure the balance that we have in their bank over and above the 250. Now, I don't know, maybe the auditors weren't aware of that when they did this.
Well, yeah, I mean, 3 years in a row, it's the same items. I mean, I can't believe...
You're right, it's a valid point.
Yeah.
They should be secured over and above the FDIC limit, there's no question about that.
Right, and you should have the documentation. I mean, you're talking ratepayers' money.
But I think what Jerry's saying is it is, so we just have to confirm that.
And we will try and get it in writing.
Well, yeah, you should have it in writing, because verbal is worthless.
Well, we will try. We will try, and hopefully we'll have it for next meeting.
Do you have a policy on the late fees?
In regards to
Well, I mean, a late fee, you know, if somebody doesn't pay their bill, and is there a policy, a particular policy, or is it just whatever somebody feels like doing for a person?
Yeah, no, it's right there. So that if they don't pay their bill, the penalty is assessed to them.
Right, but you do make exceptions.
All
What if somebody unfortunately goes to the hospital?
Yeah, I
And-
think it's that day.
Pardon me?
And they happen to be sick that day, that they would have paid their bill, we can make an exception to it.
Okay, what are your other exceptions?
There is none that I'm aware of. There is no exception.
I don't think it's done. There hasn't been done very much. I don't think it was.
I had a gentleman today call, talking to me for probably 45 minutes because he thought that he should have his bill reduced because he hasn't paid since hookup time. And he owed in excess of $5,000. And I told him that he has to pay because everybody that walks in here, they pay their bill. And me, for one, I'm tired of the freeloaders. So he did come down and pay his bill. And he's got some properties he has to hook up. Maybe that sort of scared him, I don't know, but nevertheless, he did catch up today.
Okay, and what about the people that are nice enough and come in and pay 4, 5, 6 months in advance? You give them like a 2% discount or something?
No, because we didn't ask for the money in advance. That's their choice to pay it that way. No, we don't give a discount.
Okay, and you said you're tired of the freeloaders, but yet, what's your status on that Carson report? Because in the past, there were several people that supposedly had more than one EDU, and I've never seen a report where you had a checks and balances to, you know, address versus, you know, who was supposed to hook up and the EDU
No,
numbers.
we haven't, Rose. That's been sitting in limbo. When we get a chance, maybe we'll resurrect it and see where it goes from there. But no, we haven't done anything with it.
Are you doing anything to cut expenses so that there's not a rate increase for the ratepayers?
Yeah, we watch every day that we don't waste
Can
money.
you offer some suggestions?
Well, if I had access to
Because-
more records, yeah, I could.
Because I don't see how we could cut expenses, you know, when a pump station goes down, you gotta repair it. You know, when an E1 pump breaks, you gotta repair it. Or else, if you don't repair it, then the cost could even be more extreme than not doing the repair work.
I think we had probably 7 or 8 pumps go down this weekend.
It's,
That we had calls for them where they were either flooded or for whatever reason they went down. And it gets expensive.
these things run into money, and the state mandates you to do certain things, but you know, they don't give you any help.
Well, E1, you're talking grinder pumps?
Grinder pumps.
Okay, well, I mean, are you going to warrant them forever?
Yeah. Right, as of now, they're ours forever. They're ours.
And what
Well,
are,
one of the things you're doing is, that the board is doing is, we recently got this grant for $200-some thousand, right?
Right.
And we're gonna put in these, new pumps, that's hopefully,
The inline pumps, and that's
the
what.
inline pumps, that's hopefully, we're hoping, although there's no guarantee, that it's gonna cut down on our electrical usage, and it's gonna cut down on our odor control.
It has.
That's what we're hoping for.
well, how much was the grant?
I don't know the exact amount of the grant, but it's like $200+ thousand.
Yeah, 200.
And we're gonna have to contribute some of our own money to that, which is gonna amount to approximately $30,000 of our own money that we're gonna take out of our bank accounts. And if we didn't do that, we wouldn't get the grant.
Well,
So that's something, and then that grant money is gonna replace pumps at 2 pumping stations that, if we had to replace them, would have been replaced with EDU money. So that's a savings right there.
to replace the one big pump at Pump Station 5, there's 2 in there. To replace one, I believe, now I'm not gonna give you right to the penny because I don't have that figure in front of me. I'm gonna say approximately $38,000.
Yeah.
For one pump. The other pumps, which is smaller pumps, is in pump station 6 and 8. Those are approximately $20,000 because they're less horsepower, so they're cheaper. And as I was saying before earlier, that one pump is acting weak. We may pull that pump and have it rebuilt. Or there may be something in it that's restricting the flow. So in either way, we're gonna pull that pump. If it's not pulled today, it may be pulled tomorrow. I don't know, but Mike's got it scheduled to be pulled. We have a new one setting in supply up at the tech park. We have a $38,000 pump setting up there, and we have a $20,000 pump setting up there. But if they go, it takes 12 weeks to get a new pump. So then you have to depend on one pump to run that pump station instead of two. So all your wear and tear is on one pump. Whereas if you have the two pumps, one pump cycles, the next pump cycles, and they just flop back and forth. And that way they're not overloaded. This is what we will save if we get the inline pumps. Now, I'm not saying that nothing will ever happen to the inline pumps. They have two motors in them and a big pump. And that pump works on a demand. If there's not a lot of sewage coming in, the pump slows up next to nothing. It just moves the effluent. And once it moves it up to the next pump will take over. So if we put one in pump station 5, that's where we're ingesting all of our peroxide. The peroxide costs us approximately $50,000 a year. Hopefully we'll get a savings on that where we won't have to use it. We may have to move some down here because that line, that's still going to be in the system. And if we have to move it, we'll move it either in a pump station 6 or we'll take it up to the tech park and ingest it up there. But by any means, we will possibly have to use some. Depends on the order. And if these two pumps that we want to install and they work real good, we may end up putting the whole system with inline pumps. And if that's the case, then we do away with all of our wet wells. They'll just be scrubbed up, cleaned up, and set there. We've been doing nothing with them. The pumps will either be pulled and sold or whatever. I don't know if we would have to exercise if we kept them in a wet well or not. Usually when you don't exercise something like that, you'll get moisture in them and something will happen.
So that $230,000 grant is going to get you 2 inline pumps, is that what I'm understanding?
It will take care of almost all of it. We have to put some money into it. The grant is for around $200,000, and the $30,000 is where we have to, our share that we have to put into it. And that'll come from our renewal account. Or wherever Jerry feels we have.
I think it's come from that capital improvement.
Capital improvement, yeah. It'll come from one of the accounts that will make up the difference.
Another area where we saved money from last year and this year, Rose, which is about the equivalent of adding 8 EDUs, is the interest we're getting from the bank. Last year we negotiated, at the beginning of 2017, we negotiated an interest policy with the bank that was not in existence prior to that. Otherwise, we would have drawn the money out of the bank and went to another bank. But they offered us an interest program for all of our accounts, checking account or whatever. And that's generating approximately 8 EDUs per month that we didn't have prior to last year.
And we're not paying the LRBSA.
And then that's 8 EDUs for which we're not giving $20 to the LRBSA for. We're keeping all of the money.
So you're talking roughly $320 a month?
No, I said this month it's $709.
Oh, okay, well, I wasn't.
It's on the treasurer's report.
Yeah.
He gives it.
Yeah.
And this is telling you what we collect.
That's just this month, $709. Now, probably next month and the month after it's going to go down because we got some big payments to make this year with our bond issue. Now, we didn't have any of that interest money prior to 2017.
We was
And
getting
we're in the
nothing.
process right now, we already have meetings with the bank over what's going to happen in 2019.
So you see,
About the interest rates and the interest monies and see where we're going.
we are doing stuff, Rose. We're not just sitting on,
Yeah.
come here and just sit here.
And don't
Everything's
forget,
happening, every day there's something happening.
the tech park was connected to the system to reduce the cost. We eliminated the cost for maintaining the treatment plant at the tech park.
And how many EDUs, like with demolitions and other reasons, have you lost?
I couldn't answer that.
There's some that's been lost through demolition, but then we picked up new ones. So we're staying pretty even with our EDU count.
What is your EDU count?
I can't tell you that, Rose, but Karen, if Karen has that information, she can tell you, but I can't, I just be guessing. And I don't want to guess because the next month you're gonna tell me I'm gonna guess. So, we'll get the information.
Is there any thoughts of selling the sewer authority operation to an outside?
Buy it?
Pardon me?
Do you want to buy it?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe it's an offer.
Maybe you should buy it
Oh,
and work for free.
no, I'm not gonna buy it. Then I'd be married to it. I spend enough of time here,
Yeah, but you get paid for it.
not all of it, Rose, not a little tiny bit of it. Believe me. You know, you see me in that office a lot of days.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know what you're doing, if you're getting paid or you're not getting paid.
I'm not.